One of the concepts that you're going to hear me talk a lot about in this coaching program is the concept of a playing elbow and trying to attack your opponent's playing elbow and take advantage of that. And so I'm just going to spend a little bit of time explaining exactly what I mean by that, so when it comes up later on you know exactly what I'm on about. What I'm using here, these two yellow tapes, is I'm using that to just indicate the sort of a zone that will be the playing elbow itself. So as a shakehander, if I'm standing here with my bat in the centre of these lines and the ball, say, coming straight from the camera right up the lines, when I'm standing like this here, my playing elbow is this zone shown in between the two yellow lines. Okay, so anywhere in here is going to force me as a shakehander to make a decision, and I have to either come this side to play a good forehand, or I have to come that way to play a backhand. But I can't, it's awkward for me to do anything else. And so if you can put the ball in here, right at it, right at the tip of the bat, what you're getting at is you're hitting my playing elbow, okay? Forcing me to play it from an awkward location where I have to make a decision and I have to move if I want to use proper technique. Otherwise, I have to lean and use less than perfect technique. So this is my playing elbow. Now, obviously, as the ball moves around the table and I move, my playing elbow will move. For example, if the ball's coming from my opponent, if he's a right-hander, his backhand corner, my playing elbow is also going to change. So the ball now coming from that right-hand diagonal over there, I'm facing where the ball's coming from, and now the playing elbow has moved direction, and so on and so forth. So it's a fluid thing. It's not always just there. Wherever I am, there's the playing elbow, here's the playing elbow, here's the playing elbow. So it moves around. So it's not always easy to hit, but if you can hit that area, hit that zone, you're going to put your opponent under more pressure. Now, for a shakehander, it's quite easy to say, okay, the playing elbow is the point where he has to decide between playing a forehand and playing a backhand. But what about Chinese pen holders? Reverse pen holder backhands players and similar grip players. What about them? Do they have playing elbows? Now, a lot of these guys take great joy in saying, hey, look, we don't have a playing elbow, but that's complete bollocks. They do have a playing elbow, it's just not the same as a shakehander's playing elbow. And to demonstrate what I mean by that is, okay, let's say I'm playing pen hold, and again there's this zone coming down the middle of the table. Now, it's true that I don't have a playing elbow in terms of having to decide between this side of my rubber and the back side, because as a Chinese pen holder I use one side everywhere. Okay, that's not my playing elbow. What my playing elbow in this case is the difference between being able to turn and attack on my forehand here versus playing the ball in front of my body out here. So my playing elbow is basically that area of decision where I have to decide, am I going to turn, say if the ball's coming down here, am I going to turn and hit, or am I going to play out in front? So Chinese pen holders, yes, they still do have a playing elbow, and it's going to be roughly, again, if I'm standing rough here, it's going to be roughly in this area where they have to decide, do I hit or do I play there? So it's not a side of the bat thing, it is a stroke, which stroke to play, playing elbow. But they still have to make a decision, okay? And that's somewhere you can exploit in a Chinese pen holder. A reverse pen hold backhander who's using, more like a shakehander in that he's top spinning on this side, top spinning on that side. He really is, for someone like Wang Hao who plays everything on the backhand pretty much with his reverse, he's essentially a shakehander. He has the same area where he has to decide, there's his forehand, there's his backhand. In here, is it a move and a forehand, or is it a move and a backhand, or is it a lean? So he still has the same weakness, or the same decision making. Someone like perhaps Ma Lin, who plays forehand penhold, quite often the backhand penhold, and occasionally the reverse backhand, well, what he has instead is he has this area in here where he has to decide. He has to decide, okay, from there, am I going to move and hit? Am I going to play in front? Or am I going to come across? So this zone for a right-hander, this zone that's kind of almost, for a pen holder, kind of on the leg, and it will vary a little bit. For a shakehander, more outside the hip. But that area is an area of indecision where they have to make a choice. Now, similar grip players, well, not a lot different. Again, not much different from a Chinese pen holder in my opinion, except that whereas a Chinese pen holder is going this way around the table, a similar gripper is usually going that way around the table. But they still have this area where if the ball's coming in, is it move and hit a forehand? Is it turn and punch? You don't see too many of them playing there, if they can help it. They don't want to play a lot of that stuff. So it's usually forehand, backhand, and if they're there, that's not really their best shot. So, or they can turn there. But it's all about exploiting where they have to make a decision. Put the ball here, no decision needed. Easy either way. Put the ball there, no decision needed. Put it in here, and they've got to decide one way or the other, and they've got to move. So really, regardless of what type of grip you use, every player has this playing elbow to take advantage of, this area of decision making where they have to make a decision. Now, depending on what the player is, some players playing elbow, if they're standing like that, their playing elbow is going to be out here. If they play in here, it may be closer in. If they're more of a backhand player, their playing elbow may actually be more in the middle of their body because they will play backhands from over here, and it's only when you put the ball actually out here, perhaps, that you may make them decide to go to a forehand. So it varies from player to player. It's not as simple as saying it's just here, because it's not. It can vary. And part of your job is to know for each opponent exactly where that playing elbow, where that area that they have to make a decision is.